everybody. I am back again, and this time with a Unity video on my new Unity course. So I think I mentioned something before in my previous Python lesson where I was going to be starting a new channel or a new little playlist on computer science, and this I'm so excited. I'm going to be starting on Unity. So let's dive in. So, as always, please subscribe and like this video for more content. I really appreciate the support that my channel gets. That allows it to grow more. I really hope more people can see it. So, just hit the subscribe button, notifications, please, and let's move on. So, about me. This is a new video, and for those of you who are new, I'll go over who I am. So, for me, I've been doing Unity for 4 years. I'm a certified Unity user, so over here you can see that I displayed my little badge, and I had taken the Unity Junior Programmer course. I did that, and I've created several projects on Itch.io. So for those of you who don't really know it, or itch.io, depending on who you are, for those of you who don't really know what that is, I'll go into it more in depth later. But essentially, what it is a it's a platform on the internet where indie game designers make games and publish them. Because as you'll learn, publishing games through, like the Apple Store or through Steam or Xbox, it's pricey. You need a license, and that costs, I think the Apple Store was like $100, and that's a minimum. I mean, it's a difficult process, but itch.io, it's really easy. Just publish, and you can see I have several games. Here's my first game, which is Monsters versus Machines, I believe. Or, no, excuse me. Machines versus Mushrooms. Yeah, that was the name over here. And then I have my Planets Collide game. And, of course, I displaying a picture with me and my girlfriend. So, anyways, to start, we will download Unity. So here I have displayed the steps. So first, let's navigate to the Unity website. Okay, so once we have this open, this is how Unity website is going to look like. And I will just, I'll put a link in the description for the website specifically, but really you just go on the internet and you go Unity. I mean, just one word, Unity, and we're going to look for this. So you can navigate here to the Unity link, but I prefer download Unity Hub because that's what we need first. Here is Unity. This is the Unity website, and what we will do first is we will navigate which version we are downloading. So currently I am using a MacBook, and I would be downloading for Mac. If you're using Linux, I don't mean to hate on Linux people, but I don't know who was using Linux. If you're using Linux out there, I'm impressed. So there's instructions for Linux, and then you can download for Windows. So I know Windows and Mac are by far the biggest devices used for Unity. So I already have it downloaded, but I can just download it and kind of show you the process. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I doubt it would have me download it again. So anyways, once you have this downloaded, double-click to open. Here, terms and agreements. If you read all of this, I'm going to be impressed. I'm going to be really impressed, but yeah, you don't have to. You agree, it's opening Unity set, and I'm just going to cancel it because I don't want it to download two of the same things on my computer. So navigating back on here, once you have it downloaded, we've got to figure out, essentially got to figure out which version. So you can see back on my slideshow, we got to pick between Windows or Mac, and then we got to choose the correct version. So here I took a screenshot of the proper page we have to go. Let's go to that. So back on the Unity website, we will find visit download archive right here. So it's the second step. And essentially what this is so you've downloaded Unity Hub, which is the platform, and I'll get into this in a little bit. It's the platform where you can navigate your projects. And if this will load, okay, I don't know why that took so long, but anyways, here it shows several versions of Unity. So the way I like to describe this is you have an iPhone or Samsung, Android, any phone that you use, and they come up with updates, system updates, and you have to update it frequently. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I don't know what was up with that website. It wasn't working for me. I hope it works for you. Anyways, what I wanted to show was, and I will just go here just temporarily. Don't worry about any of this. So these right here that are displayed on my Unity Hub, these are updates, like system updates of Unity. So we can see here 2020.3.12 F1, for example. 2021, you can see these values are different. 2019, so the first value is obviously the year that it was released. And what I like to tell the people that I'm teaching Unity to is I definitely like to tell them that anything with LTS is your go-to, and that stands for long-term support. And essentially, what that means is Unity will keep that version in check. So like you can see here, there's a 2019 LTS, a 2020 LTS. We're not gonna essentially they're going. We're not gonna change much about this version. We're just gonna keep it consistent. We'll release different versions, so you can see this 2020. These two 2020 versions are different. One's more current than the other, but I like the LTS because you don't have to worry about consistently downloading new versions. If I go to pre-release, I don't know where it was. Oh, it was in the install editor. Pre-release, there's a 2022 beta. Now, for those of you who don't know what beta is, essentially this isn't finished yet. You can download it. I can download it and try it out and see how it works. But unless if you're really involved into what kind of version of Unity you're using, I wouldn't worry about it. So we can get more into that later. Back on my slideshow, we will move on to our next step. Now that we have Unity Hub. So Unity Hub allows you to access and manage projects. You can download different versions of Unity, and you can access the community. So Unity Hub should look like this. That is the screenshot that I took on my laptop of the icon of Unity Hub. And as you saw before, this is my screen of Unity Hub. So back on Unity Hub, this is how it looks like. I blew it up full screen because I find that to be a little easier for me. And I have a list of games. So these are all my games, and you can say here you can open projects, new projects. I just showed this. This is installs, different modes of installing. There's a learn, which is really I really recommend this for any of you who are really interested in Unity. This essentially teaches you specifics in Unity. Of course, in my playlist, I'll go over specifics that I think is important to reinforce your knowledge of Unity. But if there's a little project you want to dabble with, I recommend taking any of these, really. Beginner scripting, that's great. That's what I did. It's essentially a list of videos and scripts as behavior components, list of videos that walk you through the language you'll use in Unity known as C#. Rollerball, that's a good game. I recommend all of these, really, and you can download them. And then, as I mentioned before, there's the community. So when I first learned about the Unity community, I was a little hesitant because I felt like I didn't need it. I learned a lot of this on my own, so I spent a lot of time just researching things that I thought were important to learn. But this Unity community is really useful. You know, you have blogs, answers. I mean, essentially, there's thousands of forums on the internet of people asking the most minute things. I read a forum about somebody who was asking about a ski project, and other programmers would go online, see that, and try to answer questions. And it is your job as a programmer in computer science and in Unity to figure out the best possible solution for yourself. Because there's many ways to do something, just like math, many ways to do something, but there's also a way that works best for you. So I highly recommend going over any of this, dabbling with it, exploring. It's really great. Back on our slide, we have our first project. So our first project is going to be really simple, and it's just going to be creating a project in Unity, creating a few assets, and that's it. And I have here the list of steps we will do, and I have a picture of how it will look like. So back on Unity Hub, what we're going to do first is we're going to navigate up here to New Project. We're going to click New Project, and we're going to get this window right here. So as you can see, this is your project. You can change anything that you want to. We can have it 2D. We can have it 3D. Sample scene. So this is essentially a more higher end. You can see this template utilizes high definition renderer pipeline. I'm not going to get into that now, but essentially it makes your project look really pretty. But what I've learned is that having a computer that runs better is probably best for that kind of project, because my computer would explode. I've tried it too. It's not good. We have a 3D sample scene, so this is convenient to just kind of dabble with Unity. I would recommend creating this kind of project if you're new and just kind of want to check it out, because I know it can be daunting at first. And then Lego Microgame. So this is an interesting little one that they added, and it's essentially just like a little Lego game format. You have VR, you have third person. I mean, you have all of these really cool things. When I started Unity, I didn't have any of this. I just had 3D and 2D. I mean, that was it. So what we're going to do is we're going to select 3D. And we're going to name this as my first Unity project. And please, 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 I like to keep things really organized. I really, really recommend that you keep this in a folder that is good for you. So you can see I have a Unity game folder, and it's got tons of projects. So I will just select this folder, and when I select it, it should move my project there, and it'll be titled First Unity Project. And then once you have all this figured out, you create the project. Let's give it a minute to open. Okay, welcome back. This is my open project. I hope that it looks the same as yours. If it doesn't, maybe go back and check if something was different. If you decide to dabble with your 2D instead of 3D, that's totally okay. But anyways, let's get on to it. So this is Unity. I mean, this is where every game designer ever really started. I mean, not Unity specifically, but with a blank slate. I mean, like, there's nothing, in this world besides, camera and directional light. So that don't feel overwhelmed with everything you see here. I will walk over it really slowly and make sure that we understand what's happening. The first thing is we'll go over our hierarchy. That's right. This is right here to the far left. That's our hierarchy. And essentially, it is essentially a list of the assets in our game, and you can think of an asset as an object. So I'm really nerdy, and I like to think of the world as Unity. I can't believe I said that, but I do. So if you think about it, you're in your room, and you look around, and you've got things in your room. Those things, those objects, you can call assets in your game, for example. So, for example, here we have directional light and main camera. These are two assets in our hierarchy. Down here we have our projects window. So right here it will display our folders, and inside our folders it has our our assets, our prefabs, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Here, console window, for those of you who aren't really familiar with programming or computer science, a console essentially will list what is happening in directions or what is happening in words in your project. So there's a function that we have written in Unity called debug.log, which essentially is, if something happens in the game, say something in my console, debug.log in our console. And it will show here, it will show errors. If something is in red, it will show, hey, there are some things going on that I don't like. So that is our console in our project window. Over here is our inspector window. This here shows our status of individual assets. If I click main camera, you can see the individual status of the main camera in our inspector window. Or directional light, same thing. And then we have our game scene. This is, I wouldn't say the most important, but probably the most exciting, because this is how our game looks like, really. I mean, it looks like garbage because nothing is happening, and I can scale this if I want to look into something particular, but this is our game window and our scene window, of course. So this is where everything happens. This is our directors behind the scenes kind of looking at what we're doing in our game. The last thing I will go over is the different little tools that you can use when it comes to navigating around Unity. So you have your hand tool, which essentially allows you to navigate by dragging. So right now I'm using my mouse pad. Don't ask why, I just prefer my mouse pad. And if I click on it and hold it down, I can navigate around Unity. If you're using a mouse, it's way easier, I know. And I believe you would hold down on the roller button or no, I take that back. You would right click, and that's how you navigate. We have our move tool, which essentially we can highlight something and we can move it around the X, Y, or Z axis. Our rotate tool, we can rotate. Oops. Our scale tool, so this is to increase something in size. And then we have our, I believe this is rect. Yep, rect tool. So if we highlight something, you can see this is more for UI, so more like flat screen assets. It's really helpful when it comes to making like a menu or something where you're using 2D objects, but I don't think it's really something to worry about in a 3D. And then this is all three. This is scale, rotate, and move. And I like this. It's convenient because everything is just right here. And then you can have custom tools. I've never made a custom tool. And for those of you who are using their keyboard, Q, if you click on the letter Q on your keyboard, it gives you your hand. W gives you your move. E, rotate. R, scale. T, rect. And Y is your, I would call it transform. Maybe it's all of them. Anyways, let's dive into the Unity mechanics. So if we navigate to our hierarchy and we double click, we get this pop-up menu. And what we want is we want to create a 3D object, and let's create a cube. This is our cube. I'm going to call my cube Chad. I don't know why, I'm just like that. And actually, you can go over here. You can go, I want to call this Chad. So we named our cube Chad. And I want to extend this. I want a platform. So I'm going to go to this scale tool, and I'm just going to scale it up a little bit. So let's say the scale is 10 on the X, 10 on the Y. Let's keep it 1. And then 10 on the Z. So we have this plane right here. And let's just call it platform. Sorry, Chad. So now we have our platform. It's all white. It's disgusting, but we have it. And I should mention also, if you reset your position of the platform, it didn't go away. It just moved right here. So the position was a little wonky. So it's centering this smack in the middle of your game, which is really helpful. So that way you don't have a game built like on the side and then the middle of the project is just kind of over. It's just disgusting. Anyways, we reset that, so now we have 10, 1, and 10. And this is not F, this is our platform. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to create 3 spheres. Sphere 1, Sphere 2, and Sphere 3. 3 and 2. So now we have our 3 spheres, and what we're going to do, we can't see that. We just can't, and there is an easy way to fix this, and that's a good segue into what we'll go over next. Materials. So what we're going to do first is we're going to navigate down to our projects, right click, and create a folder. And we're going to call this folder materials, or mats if you want. And the folder is essentially helpful for keeping specific objects inside one thing. Really helpful. I really suggest you use folders. I mean, you wouldn't want to be a sloppy programmer. They're not going to hire you. And we're going to create a material. We're going to call this sphere mat. And we're going to apply this to each of our spheres. Like this. You just drag it, see the arrow, and then you just take your hand off the mouse. What we're going to do here is first we're going to change the color to red. I prefer red, it's just better for me. And then we're gonna, once we have this a different color, we're gonna move this up, and here you can see our first sphere is red. There's our next sphere over here, and here's our third sphere. Just moving it up, moving it over. Ta-da. I don't really like this platform being so white, so I want to give it a different color. So I will go down here to materials, right click, create new material, and I will call this platform mat. I will add this to our platform. And go over here, we click this, and let's just do some nice little blue. So here we can see everything. if we go to our game scene, that's how our game looks like. It's not exciting, but I mean, you created assets. I mean, assets are viable when it comes to game design, and it's just the click of a button, really. I mean, there is so much to it. Anyways, we'll go a little in depth in materials. So I want to show you that there's more you can do with this. There's the metallic slider, and if I slide this over, you can see it looks like it's dimming, but it's supposed to make it a little more metallic. And then the smoothness is essentially, you see it looks rough and disgusting. Here's a good example of what's going on right here. I don't know if that shouldn't do anything, but that's our material right here. If I move the metallic slider over, it looks a little more like a car door or something. I don't really know. So that looks cool. I mean, you can't really see the effect it has on the game itself. Kind of. If I moved my light over, maybe. And here for a sphere mat, let's say I want it to be like, okay, that's pretty cool. So already Unity is exciting, and we're just creating spheres. So you can see that. Oh man, that looks like a Pokemon ball. That's pretty cool. So yeah. So what we did in this video is we created our project. We downloaded Unity Hub. We created 3 spheres, a platform, a folder, and 2 materials. And I highly encourage that you explore more with this. In my next video, I'll get more in depth into Unity itself. We'll create something a little more expansive than this little project right here. But I encourage you to take a look at different things, ask questions. Please, message me in the comments section, and I'll definitely get back to you. I really want to help you. I think Unity and game design is definitely one of my passions. And if those of you who've been watching my guitar videos, I love music and I love playing guitar, and it's such an expressive art form. But game design is just, it's expressive in a different way. I'm creating interactive entertainment for people, and I can convey my ideas and my thoughts in them for people to be entertained by. And I think it's a fascinating thing. It's a great way to make money. If you tell people that you make money building video games, I don't know what's cooler. I don't know what to tell you. But anyways, I hope this helps. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a like, and I hope to see you next time.